Hi, I'm Shane Cronin, and today I'll be presenting United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 14, it's about ocean life and how that connects to faith and the Tampa Bay area. So, just a quick introduction about my goal and how it connects to religion and to the Tampa Bay area. So, Sustainable Development Goal number 14 is the conservation and sustainable use of oceans, seas, and marine resources. So, basically, how we can use our oceans in a sustainable way without harming, the ecosystem or, the marine life. Some core threats to achieving this goal would be pollution, overfishing, ocean acidification, and harmful algae blooms, such as the red algae blooms in the Florida area that have been happening in recent years. Um, yeah. So, some religious perspective to this goal would be, or conservation in general, I should say, would be so for Christianity, Genesis states that humans are stewards, which is basically means that humans protect the earth. And Laudato Si, which is a book written or diary written by Pope Francis, says that ocean pollution is a sin. In Islam, the practice of Mizan refers to balance and harmony with nature. Some local reality in Tampa Bay. We have a lot of chemical pollution from PFAS, pesticides, and pharmaceuticals. They get into the water. They get into um, our grass and our ecosystems in the ocean, and we live right in the Gulf of Mexico. So, yeah. Red tides cause dying marine life. Um, and runoff and global waste also cause a lot of dying marine life. Red tides, like I mentioned before, have been affecting the Florida area a lot recently. Um, so, diverse faith communities and fishing and boating culture. Um, okay, so the problem in Tampa Bay. So the main source of pollution in Tampa Bay would be urban runoff and sewage. So urban runoff is any, runoff like waste from, city life, which is very lively in Tampa Bay, and sewage just being sewage from, all of the population. Lawn pesticides and flushed pharmaceuticals are also a big source of pollution in the Tampa Bay area. Everyone wants a beautiful green lawn in Florida. So, lawn pesticides to keep those bugs from killing off and growing weeds and making your lawn look not too nice that actually harms the water in Tampa Bay. And factory waste and forever chemicals, which are PFAS, those are big harm, big pollution harms to the Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico area. We have some devastating effects of this pollution in Tampa Bay. So, toxic red tides, like I mentioned in my previous slides, caused 600 tons of dead marine life in 2021 to 2022, which, if you walked up and down the beaches during that year, you could literally see what they were talking about. There was just dead fish, dead clams, dead everything up and down those beaches, and it was horrible to see. Um, so the seagrass meadows were down 20%, which causes manatees, a very, very big protected animal in Florida, cause manatees and other fish to lose their habitat. And manatees, their main source of food is, our seagrass beds in, the Tampa Bay area, which, caused a lot of people to lose sight of these manatees. They went somewhere else. Um, and then we have toxins building up in the fish and shellfish. So, shellfish and other fish, there's a food chain out in the ocean. So when, the smaller fish, they have these toxins building up, they cause danger to wildlife, and they also can cause danger to people because us as people, especially being, on the water in Florida, seafood is a big thing and it can cause a lot of harm to people. And microplastics in the water are eaten by almost every single marine animal, and yeah, it's just very harmful to them. If you've ever seen pictures on Google or anything like that, you cut those fish open and it's crazy the amount of plastics. And we have some economic damage. So fishing and tourism lost millions of dollars for every red algae bloom that happens in Florida. It's a lot of money. So statewide red tide costs around $1 billion. $1 billion through other small businesses, fishing lines, everything. Tourism just tanked during the red algae blooms. So that is a big problem in the Tampa Bay area. So we have some religious and local context. So the Bay today, it's 400 square mile estuary nursery for around 200 different fish species. Tampa Bay, yeah. It's, if you go out around in Clearwater or St. Pete area, you'll see there's a bunch of fish species. Shallow, it's surrounded by cities, so it's very vulnerable to pollution. And we have some pollution sources here, like mentioned before, so local storm drains, upstream rivers, Florida's leaky limestone, and storms. We just had Hurricane Milton, which dumped a bunch of extra debris in our oceans, which is causing pollution. So this is how, our faith communities respond. So Catholics using Laudato Si, they use beach cleanups because, as Pope Francis said, ocean pollution is a sin. Protestants, they partner with the company Arocha, and they use Psalm 104, which is, towards stewardship and protection of earth. Muslims use the practice of, I'm definitely going to butcher this, but Hifz al-Ba, which is protecting the environment. Yep. And then interfaith groups, they conduct mangrove plantings, specifically the Parliament of World Religions. They conduct mangrove plantings all up and down the Tampa Bay area. And there is definitely a shift happening in these religious groups where younger leaders are feeling empowered to embrace this level of conservation and sustainability in younger churches. And you'll see that a lot, that people really want to get out and help do these beach cleanups and help do these environment cleanups because, God and whatever you believe in, God, Allah, whatever it is, they created this earth for us, and it should be our duty to keep it clean. So how this aligns with Sustainable Development Goal number 14. So we reduce pollutions with citizen water testing and cleanups, and that could be organized through these religious entities in the Tampa Bay area. So, the Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, the Baptist Church, the temples, Islam groups. We can all, band together and help with these different, cleanups and water testing. We can protect our ecosystems by planting 8,000 mangroves, and we can help with sea grove restoration by asking these religious groups to donate money or collect money and fundraise for us. And we can manage protected lands by expanding reserves or preserves with these new funds. So we have some possible solutions. We have 40 churches, Christian, Muslim, interfaith, the Tampa Bay Estuary Program and USF. They'll partner up. We held monthly cleanups, which result in around 5,000 pounds of trash removed yearly. And we have app-based trash and water quality testing. So people in the community, they feel the need, hey, we have, this area that has a lot of trash. If you, want to volunteer your time, help us clean up. And then, that could be like, okay, the water quality is high, the water quality is low today. And public faith forums to push for stronger runoff laws and eco landscaping. So, public forums are a very good place to get your point across in the lower local level. And, the more that do that in the Tampa Bay area, definitely can lead to, more regulation and laws to help our problem. And this has proven results. The pilot site cut microplastics by 18% in 1 year. Similar AROCHA projects elsewhere increase wildlife, and EPA grants and faith community givings was $3 million over 3 years. So there is some proven results to this possible solution. So, in conclusion, Tampa's polluted waters remind us that global missions like UN Sustainable Development Goal number 14 are real things, and they're real problems, and they affect our daily lives. And so they urge us to serve as caretakers for our earth. So, by mixing faith's push to guard God's creation with focused actions, we can change the course of Tampa's future by keeping our marine life healthy for years to come, for our children, for more tourism, for years to come. A little quote from the Quran here. Corruption has appeared on our land and sea because of what people's hands have wrought. And I thought that was very powerful, because most of, the pollution in our ocean is plastic and debris, and that comes from no other hands than our own. And I just thought that was a very powerful quote. So as a community, we must commit ourselves to that balance by respecting both our world and our values. Thank you.